Namaskaram everyone, welcome back to the sixth episode of our master level design series. And in this episode, we are going to work on landscape. So, the last video was regarding the celebration of our channel reaching 2000 subscribers. And on that occasion, I gave away a free terrain map and a level map and a character. So, in this episode, we are going to work on that landscape height map. And before that, I'll tell you about the basic landscape mode that is there in the Unreal Engine, and then we will see how you can apply the height map, how you can configure it correctly and in an optimized way. Then we will see what is the landscape layering, how you can apply multiple textures into a single material, how you can switch the layers, and we will use variety of sculpt tools that are there to give it a proper shape. So this is the first part where we are going to set up the snow mountain area, which is also the base of our military setup. And this is also connected with the Master Unreal series. So if you are not following that series, I highly recommend you check that one out too. So before starting, make sure you are part of the Discord server. The file is available over there. You can download it for free. And once you have downloaded, you are good to go. This episode doesn't have any prerequisites. As long as you have the height map and Unreal Engine, you are good to go. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so we are in the editor now. In the third person maps, we will create a blank new map and we'll name it level 1. Open this up, save selected, you will find everything is blank. First thing we will do is add the lighting. So in the window, environment light mixer, go for skylight, directional light, atmosphere, cloud, height fog. Once you have all these things, now you are ready to add a landscape. So there is one way, you add a mesh and then you set up everything on top of it. Another way is just go for a landscape, and here in the create new, you can create this landscape. That's it. And now you can sculpt it the way you want. Now I want you to take 5 minutes and explore this, what is called as sculpting tools. The three things that you have to keep in mind when using any tool is the strength. So if you are trying to learn, then keep the tool strength low. And once you realize what this tool does, you can increase the strength. And if you feel like something has to be done at a wider area, go for increasing the brush size. Okay, so there are many tools like sculpt, erase, smooth, flattening, and a ramp. So I want to highlight this ramp in particular because this is something which is very important. If you have your terrain ready and you want to carve out the paths, so for example, if I increase the tool strength to really high, you will see if I just hold my mouse to a certain place, things will start going real fast. Now let's say I want to carve out a path from this point to that point on the other side. So for this, I can go for this ramp, select the first point here and go in the back, select the second point here. And if I go add ramp, it will carve out a path for you. So this is a good way to carve out exact flat path so that your character can walk and run without having troubles in foot placement and everything. Another thing is, it is not just about cutting the terrain or the landscape. If you raise it to a certain height in some other direction, let's try this one, it can also inflate the landscape up to that point so that you obtain this path. So if I try add ramp, you can see it raised this. So this is also a good way to carve out the landscape in such a way so that stairs can be built. So these are the tools, give it a try. And once you are done, you will realize that doing this terrain work is a very hectic task if it's an open world. So there is another way out, that is something called as Heightmaps. So first I'll delete this landscape, come back to this create new, and there is another option, something called as import from file. So if you have the height map, you can use that terrain height map to carve out a landscape for you. So if I go and select this better height map, which was part of the 2000 subscribers giveaway video, it is available on Discord. You can download it from there. It's absolutely free to use. So if I select it, you will see that this is how roughly your terrain will look like. Now, if you observe, this height map is of resolution 1K. if I go to create new, you'll see a lot of grids are here. There is only 1x1 section per component, which means these small boxes. Okay, every component has one section. If I increase it to 2 sections, you will see now the one box has 2x2, that is 4 sections per block. Now remember, the more the number of components or these boxes, it will be very easy for you to edit the detail of your landscape. But when it comes to building the terrain, you should keep the total components low, because more number of components means more number of geometry. And of course, it is a trade-off. If you want realism and if you want very high level of detail, then you need to have more components so that you can pay attention to each corner or each point. But in terrains like mountains and open world, you should avoid using very high components so that the load on GPU is less. Apart from this, if you keep more components, then the high textures will put more load. So for example, if you are using 4K or 8K textures, it will overwhelm your VRAM because there are a lot of components to put material on. So I recommend to keep the components as low as possible. Then go to import from file and select the beta Heightmap if it is not selected. It's of 1K resolution, and I'll keep the section size to 127 by 127 sections per component. We will keep 2x2 so that we can edit the detail properly, and we will change this number of components to 4x4. And this gives you 1017 cross 1017, which is closer to your height map resolution as well. So it will look good. It will not like tear out. And you can see the total components are 16. So this is your landscape boundaries. Now if you import, you'll see this is your terrain. Now no one can do the sculpting on this terrain without having a proper vibe of what is happening around. So what I will do, I'll get some materials for this. Now when you will select this landscape and change this and scroll down, you will see something called as landscape material. So whatever material you will provide here, it will be applied all over the landscape. So for example, if I go in materials, I select this yellow color and put this here, entire terrain will look yellow, which is not something we want exactly. So we want a snow mountain type vibe. So for this, I want you to go on ambient CG and download these 3 textures. The first texture is snow 012. You can download this from ambient CG. I'll provide the link in description. Go for the 4K, and if you feel like it is too much, you can always downgrade to 2K or 1K texture. I'll go for 4K. The next texture I want you to download is the snow 008A. Now this is the snow texture that we will use for our entire landscape, and on top of this we will add other textures like visible rock or mix of earth and the snow. So I'll download the HK for this. The reason is that all the textures that are going to be part of this level are going to be in 1K, but the snow should be of highest detail because most of the time you will be walking, you might be flying from one place to another. So I would want a very real vibe in terms of mountains. So that's the reason the snow is of 8K texture. Again, it is not mandatory. This is my personal choice. Now, once you have this texture, you can replace this ID with rocks035. And this is the next texture that you want. So this texture is for the peaks. So in the peaks, we want certain rock to be visible. It should not be covered full of snow. And again, you can go for whatever you prefer. I would like to go for 4K. So first and third textures will be 4K and the snow will be of 8K. Once you have downloaded, extract the contents from each zip and go in level prototyping, textures, and create a folder and rename it to snow 008A. Again, create a folder rock underscore 035, another folder snow 012. Okay, so these are the 3 textures that we downloaded. Now let's start from snow 008. These are the files. Select all the files excluding the 008A, that is nothing but a preview, and the mtlx file and the normal GL map. Since Unreal uses DirectX, we are going to use the DirectX normal map. But in case some of you are using OpenGL, you can go for this one. But I guess 99% of you must be using DirectX. So go for this one and deselect the GL. Open this up, you have all your textures. Now let's go back in the Rock 35 and go for Rock 35. Select all of them except the GL and these two. Go back in the Snow 12 import, select all of them except the GL and these two again, and you have all the textures. Now, as you all know, if you go in the level prototypings under materials, let's create a material and name it Snow Mountain. And let's put M underscore in the prefix. If you open this up, so for example, if I open this up, go in Snow 008. First of all, let's save all. Select all these textures, drag them here. Now this can only apply one texture. If we select this first, you can check the names. So for example, this is ambient map. So I'll plug this in ambient pin. Then this one is the JPG color, which is nothing but your base color. Sometimes this file is named as albedo, diffuse, or DIFF. It basically means the base color. Then we have this normal map, which goes in the normal. Then we have the roughness, which goes here. And now you see this one is your displacement, but the displacement pin is disabled. So in Unreal Engine 5.5, you have to enable it. So enable, select outside, and then you will find enable tessellation. Now you can plug the displacement. Now save, go for selection, bring out your material, select this and put it inside the landscape here in the landscape material, and you'll see everything is covered in snow. Now it looks really good, but we do not just want snow, we want hybrid textures. So to apply more than one texture in a material, you have to go inside the material and select outside, remove this filter. In the material, you change this to use material attributes. Once you do that, this will be gone. Now what we want is layers. So this is something called as landscape layering when you are painting your landscape. So for this, I want you to search for landscape layer blend. And I want you to add 3 entries, one for Snow 008, 0012, and the Rock 035. You can connect with this output and expand these and name them Snow 008A, Snow 00012, and this one to Rock 035. This is the actual name from Ambient CG. Okay, once you are done, you can search for material attributes and use this make material attributes. Okay, and now you can connect all the texture map. So let's duplicate this 3 times and let's bring it in the center. So this goes 012, this one goes in 035. Okay, now let's plug in the maps. Base color. You can cross check what map you are connecting like this. So this one is roughness. This one is displacement, normal, and this is ambient. Okay, now go in the Snow 012, select all these maps. And now there's another way to do it is you delete these two and you duplicate this entire connection map 2 times. Connect it again. Now here, this one is the color. So in the textures, Snow 012, under the level prototyping, of course, select the color and then press this icon. Now you can replace it like this. This one is roughness. So select the roughness and click on this. This is ambient. So ambient. This one is displacement. Just make sure you correctly connect them and you do not miss anything. Another way is you bring them, connect them again. Then we have this Rock 035. So open this up. This is color. So this goes here. then roughness, then we have ambient, we have normal, and this one is displacement. This is a little faster way according to me. All right, so you can save them. So this is your new material now. Now you can go to level 1 and it is completely all right. What you will do, go back to landscape mode and select this paint. Now we are not sculpting nor we are editing the landscape map. We are painting it. So select the paint tab, and here you can click on this small icon next to layers that says create layer from the assigned materials. So you can click on this and it will bring all 3 material layers that you added. Now select this 008, create the layer, weight blended, and save it, and this one as well. Once you do that, you will get in your content drawer under third person maps all these 3 layers information. Now I want you to save all of them again. And now if you see some other color because of some different order, you can right click on any of them and you can fill the layer. Okay. And if I select the snow 008 or let's say rock, I can fill the entire layer. So right now you see in rock 035, it's too consistent. So what you have to do is go in the snow mountain, and in these UVs, you have to increase the scale of this texture map. So what I'll do is landscape layer coordinates. I'll connect all of them. So quickly connect them in the UVs. Okay, and duplicate this one here. Duplicate again. Okay, and now you can select all these 3 landscape nodes and increase the mapping scale to 250. You can try different numbers, but once you try 250, you will see some difference. Now let's go for snow again and fill this entire thing. So now if you select the 012 and then do the sculpting, you will be able to see the difference. Okay, you see it is blending this new material with your snow material texture. Yeah, and now if you want to clear it out, just select this instance and clear the layer and everything is back to snow. You can always select this and fill it with the snow. Now we do not want such a sharp corners. So what I'll do, I'll go in sculpt and I will increase the tool strength to let's say 0.45. Increase the brush size so that I work on a larger area instead of a specific, because if we go specific, then it will apply more strength on it. So now I want these spikes to smooth out. I'll select this smooth and I'll just, move my mouse and smooth these things out so that it really looks like a mountain. Next thing that I want you to observe is that they are too much squeezed up. So what you can do is select this landscape and you can increase the scale. So to increase the scale, just write 250 by 250 in X and Y. Now you see it is looking much more like a bunch of mountains. Okay, so it was too much squeezed, so we increased the scales and now we can smooth out the peaks. It is not necessary to do that, it's your choice. Just give it a vibe of mountain. Sometimes peaks are also good, but I want little smoother peaks, which is of course your choice. Now the reason I'm saying smoothing is not good sometimes is because if you go in paint, select this rock 35 and cover these peaks, not like this. You see the strength is 0.3, which is too much. We do not want to see clear cut mountain texture. We want little bit of mix. So what I'll do, I'll hold shift and I'll move my mouse on this again by holding my left click, and it will fill it back to the previous layer, which is nothing but your snow. So holding shift will undo, and without holding shift, it will apply that layer. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll decrease my tool strength to 0.23, and I'll increase my brush fall off, and I'll increase my brush size. Now you'll see it's not applying the material very hard if you do not rub the brush at the same place. Okay. If you move your brush real fast on the terrain, it will apply very less layer of rock 035. This is because your brush fall off is too high. If you reduce it, then it will apply the entire area. You can see the difference. Okay, so I'll keep the brush fall off to medium, which means the outer circle area will have lesser effect as compared to the inner one. So we want less effect and more effect in the center. So if I increase this like this, I can see this inner circle will have little more clarity rather than the exterior circle. So you can now texture them. Okay, so this is one way, and I can right click on snow 008, fill layer, and everything is back. And it's okay if you see these empty holes. Now the order I want to do is, first you have applied snow everywhere. Now we will select snow 012 so that you can carve out a good texture of mountain like this. You can check my brush fall off size and the tool strength here. Now see how easy it is. Sometimes just hold your mouse to a specific place to apply the material at little higher intensity, and if you run too fast, then you will end up blending both the materials. Again, this is something which I cannot explain with words. I think you will get it once you will do the painting on your own. Okay, and I think this looks good up to some extent. Remember, more the noise like this will make it harder for the brush to paint the area. The more smooth your landscape is, faster it will apply. Like for example, like this. And now if I apply here, it takes time. So it totally depends on the smoothness of the terrain. You see it is taking too much time in this area, but in the smoother areas, it is applying quite fast. So once you have rough implementation, you can switch to rock 035, and again, it's okay if you see that. Apply the rock 35 on this no 012 to give it a little uncovered snow vibe on top of the mountains. It's okay if you find it little difficult. Just spend time with the brush size, strength, and the fall off. The lesser the brush strength is, the harder it will be to spot that material which you are painting. You have to rub the brush over there quite a bit of time. If you select the snow again, I can fill this with the snow. So first apply the snow, then apply the 012 to get this brownish mountain, and then apply the black texture to bring out the actual mountain stones. And then once you feel it is little too much visible, select the snow 008 with little snow to rub out the shining of the black rock that is visible. Okay, so now you can see it is not purely visible. You can increase the tool strength again once you feel certain areas little too much black or mix of rock. And I can go on 0. Okay, so this will improve as time passes by. Now if you take the camera, you can Okay, keep the hybrid of these three materials so that it gives a vibe of mountain peak plus the mountain rock plus the ground texture and the snow. If you feel it is looking dirty, then you can erase the effect by selecting the snow 008, like for example here. You can rub the peaks back to white to some places to give it a real vibe of mountains. Okay, so this is how you do your sculpting and the landscape painting. Great. Now we need to set up the military base here. So for this, I'll go for sculpting again and I'll select the smooth brush. I'll increase the strength to something really high and select the best place where you can get a view of the mountains. So if I select this one, I see those big mountains over there, there, and there. So this place is the best place to set up the military base. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll smooth these out and I'll select this flatten brush, increase the strength, and you'll be able to flatten it out. Okay, so this is your base, military base, where we are going to set up our buildings, helipad, and everything. Now, there are other ways to show your creativity. Sometimes you might feel the height maps are not looking that good. You can apply your own creativity by selecting this ramp. Put one ramp, let's say here, select another ramp here. And now you can increase the ramp width to something really high and side fall off to little less so that you have more area. If you increase it, then this part will be flattened out the most and then the effect will fall off from this point to this point or the line. Now if you apply the ramp, you have this. Okay, now just observe, move this, add the ramp again, decrease the side fall off to have more area of your ramp, add ramp, and you can also take little further, add ramp. See, it's okay if you feel like you don't find this interesting, just play with these sculpting tools. Do anything, do random things, just like a painter who just throw all the colors and everything randomly and then start giving them a proper view, direction, polish and everything. Now you see you have made these ramps. Now observe, just go and select the noise, reduce the tool strength and make this, go for sculpting again. Just apply random stuff. You'll get it. Let's go for erosion to dissipate the peak. And of course, these paths, let's first go for smooth. Now, whenever you see sharp edges or boundaries, just smooth them out. There are two things. Either you can smooth them out or you can flatten them to make a path. And flatten really works too hard, so make sure the strength is really less. So this ramp allows you to create area where your players can stand or drop or find a way to caves. See, for example, like this one. If you observe this, what do you get in your mind? This is a path from here to here. And now you can take a ramp again, put this here, add a ramp again. Now this is a vertical path here. You raise it again, move it aside, add a ramp again here, then collect this, move this here, add a ramp again, and now go for smoothing and make it little nice. Now you can give a river or something in the bottom. Let's go for flattening so that you get a more area. Now see, this looks like a corner. You can place something here. Flatten this space, sculpt this place a little high. Now this acts like a corner. You can smooth this out. You can place something here, a tree, a box, a something, a hidden thing. So this gives a sharp cliff edge, and this is a way here. You can go here, and now you can do one more thing. Select a ramp, put this here, bring this at the bottom, add a ramp. Now you can see your player can jump here, and you can have some other activities like placing a hidden treasure or something like that. You can smooth out this area and the sharp edge. You can carve out another way, and this is how you make your landscape. Now, it's okay even after this if you feel like you are not getting anywhere. It's because you haven't placed your game assets and other things that plays an important role in the level. So that's the reason I'm not taking this video further. I want to set up the military base, and based on that, we will set up the surrounding a little more detail. All right. So this is your landscape. Let's save all. And again, you can come back and edit whatever you like. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next episode, we will gather certain assets to be placed on this landscape, and post that we will play with the lighting and we will give it a proper structure. So if you are not following the Master Unreal series, I highly recommend you check that out because all the game mechanics will be integrated in this level as well. This particular level design is not just for showcase or cinematic purpose. It is going to be part of our game. And if you're interested in the game development as well with parallel to this, I recommend you check that series out. And like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any feedback, suggestions, or better ways of doing things, please do share in the YouTube comments or on the Discord server. And if you like my work and you want to support me, the Patreon link is in the description. Please make sure you have a chat with me on Discord before buying any membership. So I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, take care. Bye bye.